We live in a world that is completely surrounded by notifications. Every few seconds, something or someone demands our attention. And yet, somehow, we still feel disconnected, even from ourselves. So, I thought to slow down my life with a very simple thing, a small spiral diary. And believe me, this little diary has done more for my focus, ideas, and peace of mind than any app or gadget ever could. So I thought to share it on a TEDx platform, the power of pen and paper, and how this small daily habit has completely changed not just how I work, but how I think. So, a few years ago, I have noticed something strange. I was saving thousands of ideas in my phone, notes app, screenshot, folders, etc., etc., Insta save too, and acting on none of them. My phone was full, but my mind felt empty. Then one day while traveling, I walked into a small stationery shop. I don't know why, but I picked up a spiral diary from over there just to write certain things. Now, not the fancy one, normal spiral diary with white pages and a hard string attached to it. This is kind of a strong binding, but that decision has changed completely. Literally, I'm saying completely. And since that day, I have made writing as a part of my daily routine. I don't write big essays, I just simply write my thoughts, ideas, to do list, or the things that I really want to remember. I simply write it down. But why? Because when I write down the things, my thoughts slow down, and it helped me to see them very, very clearly. I'm not saying that I most of the time write it down. No, I'm not saying that. Because whenever I type it on the phone, it gets saved. But when I write it down, it feel alive. And that's where the shift actually began. Now you just might be thinking that why to use a diary when you can easily in 2026 write the things in Google Keep, Notion, GoodNotes, and there are so many endless apps are available on the iOS and Google Play. Yes, you can very easily and it is very convenient too, but science says something else. But what? Recently, Princeton University of California have done the research where they found that most of the people who take handwritten notes tries to remember the things 30 to 40% more than who just simply type. Are you getting this point? But why? Because when you write down the things, your brain processes and it understand better. You slow down, you focus, and most importantly, there is no tabs, no distractions, no pings, nothing else, no digital things, and you are simply with your thoughts. And I'm not the one who is writing, or I'm not the only alien on the earth who is following the same pattern. There are so many successful brains also talked about this. Let me give you one of the example. Richard Branson, have you heard his name? He is the founder of Virgin Group. He carries his notebook everywhere. I saw one of his interview where he discussed about that the Virgin Group wouldn't be exist without his notebook. Now see how powerful this tiny notebook is. Because when you write down the things, when you remember the things, when you connect your thoughts, when you connect with your thoughts that are written in your diary, you try to implement it more than the idea that is already saved in your phone. And I'm frankly speaking, this works. For me, writing is not about remembering the things, it's about clarity. Because once I start writing, I stop forgetting. I simply started acting. My ideas got sharper, my teaching got more organized, and honestly, my stress went down without even me noticing it. So now this diary, I carries it everywhere. Everywhere in a sense means from my school bag to the travel backpack. And when I'm home, it always stays in front of me on my desk where I sit most of the time. It is always stays here. So I never forget the thing that I really want to remember, because if it is in front of me, it definitely should be in my notebook. This is how powerful it is. Most of the people often ask from me, especially my friends, why don't you write the things in your phone? I simply, and sometimes I do too, but I know when I write it down in my phone app, it can never get implemented in the real life. It is always stay in my phone only because, sorry, I know that the phones are fast, but sometimes fast doesn't let you think. A pen and paper do. And this diary is also acting as a second brain for me. Why it is acting as a second brain? Because it is creating a place where I simply empty all my thoughts so that my mind gets free. And this is a luxury in 2026 because our brain is filled with so many ideas, thoughts, past thing, future thing, and so on, that we simply forget that we have to live in our present. We have to live in present, and this diary helps out. How? Because when you share your thoughts, you are emptying your brain, and your brain feels lighter, and then you can simply work on the other things too that people are simply avoiding right now. They are saving thousands and thousands of ideas in the digital form, and I'm frankly saying hardly 4 to 5% of the people acting on them. Are you getting this point? So the message that I wanted to give from all this is simply that, please, the power of pen and paper is not only about writing. It's about stepping down to speed up. It's about reconnecting with your thoughts. We are living in a time where everyone is doing what? Posting, swiping, scrolling, etc., etc., and hardly anyone is reflecting. But writing is a reflection that made visible. Literally, it is a reflection that made visible. And I'm not saying you to become a writer and start journaling the things. No, no, I'm not saying that. You only need to take 5 or 10 minutes in a day maximum. Open up your diary, write one thought or one lesson that you really wanted to remember, or you think that it is important for you. Just write it down and you will see the change. Not on your screen, but definitely inside you, you will feel the difference. One thing, or I also wanted to discuss that the great ideas don't knock twice. But if you are ready with a pen, you can easily catch them too. So, at the last, I really wanted to say all the great achievement things, ideas begins with basically messy note on a paper, a doodle, a random line, or the thoughts you didn't want to ignore. And that's the power of pen and paper. It does not only record lives, but it helps to create it. So I'm saying, the next time when you reach to your phone to write down something or any idea or anything, maybe, just maybe, pick up a pen instead and write it down, because you never know, you just might write your next breakthrough. Thank you so much for this. This is Sarthak Birmani signing off, and best of luck for your coming journey. Bye bye.